On nights like this, we are reminded how often we do see severe weather here. Tennessee, in fact, leads the nation in tornado deaths, despite having fewer twisters than some states in the traditional tornado alley.
Fox 17 Skywatch meteorologist Chris Justus traveling the region to find out why.
1 in 10 tornadoes in Tennessee are EF3 or stronger. That's a greater percentage than anywhere in Tornado Alley. For answers, I went to the middle of Oklahoma, one of the biggest tornado hotspots in the world.
Homes completely ripped from their foundation. Not out west, but right here in Tennessee.
From 2001 to 2010, Tennessee led the nation in tornado deaths with 100 people killed. But here in the heart of Tornado Alley, Oklahoma only had 20 deaths during that same time. So what can we learn from our neighbors here in the Plain States to save more lives back home?
For starters, complacency. Here in Oklahoma, tornadoes are taken very seriously.
We've all either been in one or seen one, and that stays with you for a lifetime. So part of it's just the culture.
For us in Tennessee, not so much.
I don't think it's that big of a deal here, though. People don't tend to care. It's kind of like business as usual.
I think probably it's the Wizard of Oz that brought about the idea that tornadoes are most common in the Great Plains states.
Warning coordination meteorologist Greg Carbon notices a disturbing trend with Tennessee's population, up 1.5 million and nearly 25% since 1990.
It's this sprawl that basically, conceptually makes a lot of sense. You're increasing the target for tornadoes.
And Tennessee tornado deaths reflect that. 8 people were killed in the 1980s, 36 in the 90s, and 100 in the early 2000s. Another deadly ingredient is forestry. Over half of Tennessee land is covered with trees compared to 24% in Oklahoma. That means less visibility and more debris. We also learned areas like Oklahoma often get twisters during the day, while nearly half of our tornadoes in Middle Tennessee occur after the sun has set. The fact that 1 in 10 homes in Tennessee are mobile homes also contributes to more deaths.
One of the ways Oklahoma is trying to save lives is by shutting down public shelters. Yes, shutting them down. Emergency officials say they're actually more deadly.
The encouragement to travel, in my opinion, is one of the greatest hazards that we increase effectively by encouraging the use of public shelters.
Officials say they learned that lesson the hard way on May 3, 1999, as this massive F5 tornado with winds up to 318 miles per hour moved through the suburbs of Oklahoma City.
The strongest wind speeds ever recorded in the world happened from that tornado right here where I'm standing. It was more than a mile wide as it crossed over this busy interstate, killing several on their way to public shelters.
There were multiple vehicles for miles in that direction that were unrecognizable. They were wadded up like soft drink cans, and you absolutely could not tell what kind of vehicle they were.
Oklahoma officials say government money is better spent helping individuals purchase private in-home shelters. They offer 75% rebates, meaning a $2,500 shelter will cost you around $600. Alabama, Mississippi, Arkansas, and Texas also offer rebates. Tennessee does not. In fact, we found out over the past 10 years, the Tennessee Emergency Management Agency has spent $46 million to build the same public shelters Oklahoma is shutting down.
Good for Oklahoma.
We went straight to TEMA's top brass for answers.
Quite frankly, we feel like that the better bang for your buck is having a shelter in a school or a community where you can get a number of people in there.
We took a closer look. The $46 million TEMA spent on public shelters protect around 43,000 people. But if TEMA would have put that money toward rebates, 23,000 private shelters could have been funded, protecting nearly 138,000 people, over 3 times more. TEMA says they won't budge unless the money comes from somewhere else.
If people have the money and want to build a storm shelter, they ought to build them a storm shelter.
A Fayette County man hopes to change that policy. He started an online petition with nearly 3,000 signatures, urging those in charge to change their mind.
The safety it provides, again, you just can't put words to it. I think it's money well spent.
We reached out to local lawmakers. Some didn't return our call, but spokesmen from both Senators Alexander and Corker did tell us it's TEMA's discretion how they want to use the funds. The governor's office also referred us back to TEMA. We want to know what you think. Go to facebook.com/Fox Nashville, where you can also find a link to the tornado shelter petition.